Hi Lina, how are you?
Hello, Camilo. Last night I saw a nice story about Vikings. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, it's a great idea.
The Vikings were farmers, traders, colonizers, and the first European explorers of the North Atlantic. Eventually, merged with local people and played an important role in the formation of nation-states. Do you know about the history of Greenland or Iceland?
Norwegian, both Greenland and Iceland were the medieval Christian European societies. So we know what meaning but ruined sources are that has been preserved and until found in the archaeological sites.
So, what happened in that place?
Most of the time, the Vikings deteriorated their environment, suffered climate change, and their reaction and cultural values influenced the final result, for example in an Alsatian Mayan society.
I hear that the prelude to Lex Iceland and Greenland was the outbreak of the population that broke the Vikings in medieval Europe, from Ireland and the Baltic to the Mediterranean and Constantinople.
Exactly from that region came the first crops, domestic animals and transportation on wheels in the world, and copper utensils after bronze and iron, as well as the rise of villages and towns. Chiefdoms and kingdoms are organized religions, but Scandinavia was the last place in Europe to be transformed by it all and remained until the Middle Ages, the place most backward in Europe.
Also, Scandinavian territories houses two sets of natural advantage. The first one is the skin of the animals of the northern forest, and second, an enormous rush coastline that allows sea trips were potentially faster than by land.
But with a problem. Once some Scandinavian traders had discovered sea routes to reach wealthy people who could afford the skins with gold and silver. The ambitious younger brothers of those same traders found they could get that gold and silver that without paying.
So, what happened?
Scandinavian Vikings became aggressors. It's known that the Viking ships were much faster compared to the rest of Europe's ships, so they could escape more easily.
Interesting. As far as the Viking raids began in June of 293 with an attack aimed at the Reach, the island was helplessly in despair on the northeast coast of England. Thereafter, the attacks occurred every summer when the sea was calm and favored navigation. Do you agree?
Of course, those initial moments, the mix between strategy and flexibility, is from there emerged alternative methods to gain wealth, depending on the relative strength of the fleet of the Vikings and peoples marked as a target.
The Vikings, from different parts of Scandinavia, departed in different directions to carry out their attacks. For example, towards the area known as Sweden. Also, German Vikings sailed westward migration. Out of this result in the need of change language.
It's also important to understand that the Viking raids in Europe decreased as three transformations occurred. Their European objectives were based on the defense, the power of the French king and German increased, and as final characteristic is the growing power of the King of Norway which channels its efforts towards creating a state of honorable negotiation.
The field of environment is a key to the permanence of life, where the fertile land, prevention of volcanic eruption, flooding is necessary, and control the fragility of nature. All that concerned about the Vikings.
The former poorest country in Europe has become one of the most prosperous in the world in per capita income, so that represents a great success story that counteracts The collapse of societies.
In conclusion, we can say that the self-inflicted environmental degradation, climate change, hostile or friendly relation with other societies, and cultural attitudes are determinants in our history.
Then, the environmental deterioration occurred in the past may occur in the present, so we could use the knowledge of the past to avoid making the same mistakes.
Obviously, the environmental deterioration that occurred by the colonizers or conquerors can be repeated in the present, so you could use that knowledge of the past to avoid making the same mistakes.
Thanks, Lina. Bye.
Thanks, Camilo. I learned a lot of your knowledge. Bye.